monitoring it just in case.
Yeah.
Since you're here, my name is Niamh, and welcome to Rowan and Pine. We are back with another guest episode. This time, it's a new voice for you. Emily did promise you that you would hear some new voices, and I have roped in one of my best friends in the world, Miss Megan. Mystic Meg, if you will. Megatron.
Hello. Many alter egos.
To talk about one of her special subjects. If she was on Mastermind, this is probably what she would talk about.
Wow, really?
Well, if you want the you probably would have the confidence to do it now that you've actually written down all of your knowledge.
Like the thoughts in your mind are now on paper.
Yeah, and you're like, oh wait, I'm not a dumbass. Isn't that nice to know?
I know things.
Yeah, I know things.
It's very honoured to be part of this.
Yeah.
Thank you so much for having me. Megan's
Megan's my first in-person guest that I am not married to, which is
We're married in
a
spirit.
big honor. She was at my wedding. She was a big part of it, so she was running around after me all day going, Niamh, you forgot your fucking bouquet again.
Horkling up the dress at the start of the day.
Oh yeah, everybody's sweating.
Wedding dresses are a mission.
They are. No wonder these ladies in waiting back in the day used to get
People hire people to absolutely bait them into the dress.
Yeah. That was a thing too, that you can hire women from the wedding dress shop to come out on the morning of your wedding and put you in the dress.
No fucking way, I didn't know that.
Yeah.
But
I don't think it's a thing here,
No.
I don't think anybody...
That seems a bit too bougie for Ireland, to be fair.
Or Donegal, at least. If that happened here, everybody would know about it.
Oh, absolutely.
She had...
That all had somebody putting her into her own wedding dress to do
She
here.
had the dolls from Pears and Lace out on the morning of the wedding. The priest was waiting for her.
Imagine. Oh, my days.
So, all of that aside, Megan is here to talk about astrology, which is something that has been peripheral to the podcast, I would say, since we started. Emily and I are really interested in astrology, but we are huge non-believers, both of us. Did I tell you Emily and I have the same date of birth? Do you know that?
No, I didn't know that.
So we were born on the same date on different years, so we were both Capricorns.
Yeah.
But just obviously it'll differ because of the year.
Yeah. And probably have different placements.
Yeah.
In your chart, which we'll be talking about.
I'm excited.
A bit later.
I'm excited. This is part one of a two-parter. So we're going to... This was originally supposed to be one podcast, and then...
Shit got hectic.
Yeah. Jackass here started... Jackass being me, I'm not calling Megan a jackass.
I am also a jackass.
Started researching, and I was like, well, I can't leave that out.
Oh, yeah.
And that's way too interesting. I can't leave that out either.
I think we kind of both went down a little bit of a rabbit hole.
Yeah. Absolutely.
So here we are.
Yeah, here we are. There's about 15 pages of notes here. So that's why you're getting a two-parter. I'm calling it Astrology August because I love an alliteration.
Yeah, that's cute. I like
Isn't
that.
it cute?
Yeah.
I like that. Because I have September coming up and that's all my sea-themed stuff. So we have Astrology August. So yes, part one is going to be about astrology historically as a sacred science and a tool of power used by kings and men. And we will also get a little bit of a crash course from Megan about astrology and some of the terms. I'm aware some people listening might be believers, might be skeptics. I'm coming from this as a skeptic who really wants to believe. I'm like...
Which is going to make the conversation very interesting.
Yeah. I'm like, X-Files, I want to believe. That's...
Fucking love the X-Files.
Yeah.
Oh, yeah.
David Duchovny was beautiful in his day, wasn't
absolutely.
Have you ever seen that meme that was this girl wrote it and she was like, my mum hates David Duchovny because he was a teacher's assistant from one of her classes and he lounged about in a whorish manner. I was like, yeah,
I wouldn't mind
right.
him lounging about in a whorish manner around me, to be fair.
So he's our hot guy of the week. Who was I lusting over last episode?
Oh, somebody.
Skeet Ulrich.
Yes.
Oh my god. You agree with me? Skeet Ulrich is just improved with age.
Because I I'm terrible at knowing people's names.
Mm-hmm.
I know people's faces and like photos of them and things like that. So then when you had showed me, I was like, oh yeah, I know that guy.
Yeah.
And Jesus Christ, he's beautiful.
Isn't he gorgeous?
Yeah.
And he's just improving as he like...
It's that thing about men, isn't it? Is that they just improve with age.
Mm-hmm. It's really annoying.
And we just get like old and decrepit.
Yeah, because they drain all our energy. They feed off us like vampires. And then we all just dry up and get mean.
Yeah, there's many talks of how men have kind of ruined astrology within this podcast. So that's definitely to come.
Yes. So that is a good segue to get us back into the episode. And you guys can keep an eye out for part 2 on your feeds, which will be hopefully this month, schedule permitting, if Megan and I can figure it out and get it together.
Life is hectic.
So, I first wanted to start because Megan is coming in hot to the podcast. You guys don't know who she is. I know who she is. Can you talk about a little bit about astrology, your feelings about astrology, how it came to be an interest of yours?
Yeah. So I grew up in the 90s. You're a 1990s girl, aren't you?
Yeah.
Yeah.
1989.
So I grew up in a very Christian household, but non-Catholic.
Which is interesting because I grew up in a very Catholic household.
Yeah. So with it being the 90s, it was kind of peak time for there to be shows of everything to do with the occult.
Mm-hmm.
So you're talking Sabrina the Teenage Witch, Charmed, Buffy the Vampire Slayer. And do you remember that show called Hex? That used to be, it was Michael Fassbender's first appearance.
What?
Yeah.
No,
or
like
at
I've
least
never heard of this.
them. And he was like the devil or some form of a demon in it. And me and the old lad used to watch it. And there was like a lesbian witch in it. And that was like the first time that I would have seen somebody that was of a, a gender that liked different genders, because I was a teenage girl and I was like, she's so fucking cool. This is class.
Yeah.
So I watched all of those shows with my dad.
I don't remember Hex at all.
Oh,
That's so cool that your dad watched it.
You need to look it up. Yeah, you have to look it up. It's so good. I also was born on a Sunday under a full moon. I didn't. So
that's so on brand for you.
So I feel quite connected to astrology and everything moon related.
Yeah.
So I mean, growing up with these elements at play, that kind of definitely paved my adulthood for sure. And also I'm a Scorpio, and if you know anything about Scorpios, it's that we love to fucking tell people that we're a Scorpio.
Yeah. I was going to say, is it that you talk about being a Scorpio all the time?
Like all the time. It's like every story on Instagram. It's every meme that we send you. It's everything.
Yeah.
We're just like, hello, I'm a Scorpio. Like it's before you even say your fucking name. So with all of this non-Catholicness, is that even a word?
I will take it.
So I guess growing up non-Catholic in an all-Catholic school, bear in mind, I grew up in rural small town Donegal, Bundoran, Ireland, where the school was predominantly Catholic. I always felt a little bit excluded or kind of different from everyone else, I guess. And bless them, they tried. I don't know what the hell happened in my throat there.
It's a throat demon. We
it's
get
like
those a lot on this
Catholicism, blah.
Be gone. She's possessed, and it's like for her body trying to expel it.
Bless them, they tried in school to involve me, but I genuinely did feel a little bit different. So I guess astrology kind of came into things because it's that sense of belonging that we would have talked about. Also, we had Mystic Meg in the Sun newspaper.
Mystic Meg. I'm going to mention her later, but... I
mean, she talked about... That was like the first time that I seen like horoscopes per se.
Mm-hmm.
And it used to be in like the sports section, right? Or near the sports section. Yeah. And I mean, this bitch had a turban and a crystal ball.
Later, she had that cool bob.
Yes.
It was that cunty little bob. With
Maybe she didn't have a turban. Maybe it was the bob.
There was a guy as well that had a turban.
Oh, there was a guy that had a turban.
Russell, I'm going to mention him later on, but there was a guy called Russell something who had a turban. He was like a white guy with a turban, which is so 90s.
It's so 90s.
Yeah, white British guy with a turban.
But you know, when you're a child looking at her, I was like, who is this woman? And it was so fascinating as well because her name was Meg. And I'm Megan. So I was like, who is this bitch? I love her.
Yeah. And do you remember when she used to do the lotto?
I never remember that era.
Did you have BBC like growing up? This is not to get on a big side thing about how because we live so far north in Ireland, close to the border, we would get British channels growing up. But
I had BBC growing up.
So they used to have her on before the lottery.
Oh, so it was the English lottery.
Yeah.
I just remember that, who was it that used to do the Irish lottery? That drag queen.
Shirley Temple Bar.
Yes.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And then she just started dressing her regular.
Yeah.
She was Telly Bingo.
Telly Bingo.
Telly Bingo twice a week. Telly Bingo.
That's what it was. That's so fucking Irish. Most of my research recently has been through and heavily connected to Dosha Via, who has formulated a very successful page on Instagram named Scorpio Mystique. Oh. She's also developed a app called Know the Zodiac, right, where she does daily, weekly, and monthly horoscopes and readings as per your sign. Mm-hmm. But she's like main Scorpio bitch energy. So
nice.
All of my kind of researching in the last couple of years, I guess, has kind of stemmed from her.
Yeah, like she'll post about something and then you're like, I want to read into that. Yeah,
she's classed. And she does like lives as well based around like, let's say, the full moon or the new moon or all of that kind of shit. And you are just locked in because she's like the most interesting woman that I've ever seen online when it comes to like dealing with horoscopes and dealing with astrology.
Yeah.
She's so cool.
Yeah, see, like I'm jealous of that because, like, speaking a little bit about my own like feelings about astrology, like I'm like you, I grew up with it. Like my mom used to read out like my horoscopes. They'd be going through the paper and be like, "Okay, what does it say for a Capricorn?" And it would literally be like a 1-line horoscope, and which is funny because like my mom is so Catholic.
Yeah, she is super Catholic.
She's super Catholic. Like says the rosary, does a novena every November for whatever bollocks that's going on.
Like it's funny because I don't understand that level of Catholicism.
Neither do I, to be honest.
I was talking to somebody in the health food shop the other day about it. We were talking about funerals. This is going off on a mad tangent. But we were talking about how, you know, you put shutters down and you close the doors and you stand because it's respectful.
Yeah.
But I don't understand that level of Catholicism. Like your mum, going back to your mum, she's super Catholic and all of those things you've just mentioned. What was that second thing you mentioned?
A novena.
What the hell is that? So
it's where you go to mass every day in November.
Oh.
With an intention about a certain thing that you want to achieve or you want to happen. That's
cool because that's like manifestation.
Yeah.
Yeah.
It is.
And using the church.
Yeah.
As a means to pray for that is super cool, actually. I like that.
And it's her sense of like community, and like I always find it like I was actually speaking to Emily about this lately because we were talking about like how it can be, you know, when somebody's only reaction is basically thoughts and prayers.
Yeah.
Like, oh, I'll pray for you and all that there.
Yeah.
But like my mum had said to me, oh, there's a prayer by this like certain saint that I'm going to say for you. I'm going to go up to, we have like a friary close by. I'm going to go up to the friary and I'm going to get this prayer and I'll say it for you. And Emily was like, does that not like annoy you? Do you not find that insulting? And I was like, well, no, I have now, when I was a teenager, yes, it used to piss me off when she'd be like, I'm praying for your exams. And I'd be like, all right, so if I can just stop studying then because Jesus has it, like, is that what it is? And if I do well, it was because of Jesus. And like that used to be like, you know, when I was younger. But now it's evolved that I'm like, that's her way of going, I can't actually physically do anything about this for you.
Yeah.
But I want to feel like I'm doing something and I'm thinking of you.
And she's feeling it.
And I'm going out of my way to do this thing for you. And like that's kind of how.
That's so sweet.
I take it like it's a way of her showing love, you know?
Absolutely.
And I don't think there's anything wrong with
in that. No.
Obviously, if it was like something that I needed her to help me with and she refused and just said, I'll pray for you, I'd be like, fuck you, Mum. Jesus Christ. But she would never do that. And yeah, like I did grow up with it, and my feelings about astrology are I adore the aesthetic of it, the art.
Yeah.
Like every astrology girl I know is like the coolest woman I've ever seen in my life. Like they're all
this is very true.
They always like, no matter what iteration it is, they could be like an old school hippie. They could be like a modern like witchy girl. They could be somebody who's incredibly goth. They could be like a woman of color who is just like, I am not like subscribing to any of your Western bullshit. And I'm just going to...
Which is actually Dosha Via.
Oh, really?
Yeah, so she's like African American, and she built this whole program of going back to the motherland.
Nice.
So she actually moved back to Africa.
Jesus, that's insane.
With her whole entire family.
Oh my God. Yeah.
But she basically like tries to raise money so that similar families can go back to the motherland per se.
People who feel like they want to connect with Africa. That's pretty damn cool.
Oh, she's badass. She's class.
Yeah.
Yep.
And yeah, like I just love that whole thing about it. And I would also love to have the comfort of like, this is a direction to go.
Yeah.
And this is sort of, because that's like, since I realized I'm an atheist, like that's something that is missing from my life, that I'm just like,
belief, and
I just don't have something to consult to see. And I would love to leave things up to the universe or whatever it is. Like that would be very nice. But there is just this very skeptical, scientific, and I don't call myself like incredibly scientifically minded, but I'm just that part of my brain that just will not let me
the logical
invest in it. Yeah.
The logical side of your brain.
Yeah. And which is like, it's the same reason why like I adore watching people on TikTok who think their like bathroom is haunted. And like they are swearing up and down, and I'm like, I love this for you, but this is fake.
Yeah, you're like this is so not in my realm.
Yeah. Or like all those Appalachian like, don't go into the forest, like I could hear somebody whispering my name, and then like, look what I saw in the forest, and it's like her husband. You know, he's wearing the same top. Like that's literally what he looked like in your last video. And like I would love to believe that, and I would love to be looking at it and going, oh my God, that's amazing.
Some of it's actual horseshit, to be fair.
Yeah. Yeah, and like it's like that with everything, but I would just love to be at like that level where I'm just like, yes,
well, I'm hoping that after this and the little kind of comparisons that I go through with your birth placement and my birth placement and our charts, that you might, like, it'll be good to get your reaction.
Yeah, and like I said to you when we were planning this out, that like the biggest part of it that I believe is every time I hear a description of traits of a Capricorn or something associated with Capricorns, I do identify that with that a lot. Yeah. Like the funniest one, like Emily and I have joked about it, that like people always say to us when we say we don't believe in astrology, they were like, that's so Capricorn. We're just like, that's convenient.
Yeah, an excuse for one's behavior.
Yeah, that's convenient. That like us not believing in it reinforces what it is. So yeah, like my understanding, we're moving into like what is astrology now.
Yeah.
My understanding is that I just basically know, as they called them star signs in like the newspaper and stuff when I was growing up. Are they called star signs, or is it just like,
I think that's like
is it like an outdated term?
A lot of people call it a star sign, but it's more not a horoscope anymore. It's more of a reading.
Yeah. Okay.
The horoscope is kind of like an outdated term.
Yeah.
It would be like a reading now that you would do based upon your star sign.
Yeah, similar to tarot.
Yeah.
Like they wouldn't say tell your fortune, they'd say do a reading.
Yeah, and I think it's gone much more in depth as well. It's not just like the Mystic Meg of back in the day where it's like, don't walk underneath the ladder today.
Yeah. Because I never knew anything about like rising signs and anything like that until I started hearing it in the last few years, and I knew like that still is all gobbledygook to me, because I'm just like, what the fuck? Like I just always thought I was a Capricorn and that was it.
Yeah,
and then someone's like, you're this rising, and I'm like, I don't know.
And to be fair, I was the same until I started delving into birth charts.
Okay.
And then I was like, oh shit, I have like so many other placements in my birth chart. Unfortunately, I have like a quadruple Scorpio in my birth chart.
She's the final boss Scorpio.
That's the second time I've heard that. She will
turn into a scorpion if you piss her off enough. Like a literal scorpion.
Oh my god, it was like my Mars, my Jupiter, my Sun, everything. I was like, what the actual fuck? But then I've got predominantly other placements as well, which we'll be talking about.
Yeah.
And the best way to delve into your characteristics and traits is by delving into this birth chart. So I'm just going to explain from Google the explanation of a birth chart.
Mm-hmm.
And it's also known as a natal chart. I don't know why. But basically, it's a snapshot of the sky at the exact moment of your birth. So this is revealing the positions of the planets and other celestial bodies. It's a powerful tool in astrology that provides insights into your personality, potential, and your life path. Essentially, it's like a unique map of astrological makeup, highlighting your strengths, weaknesses, and areas of focus. So I'm just going to talk about the 3 main ones in your birth chart. Now you can delve into every planet under the sun and get what placements you have. But
I think I tried to look it up once, but I didn't know my time of birth.
Yeah,
and I was like, what are all these other planets doing here?
Yeah. So if you go to, I think it's cafe.astrology.com is where I have found most of the information.
Okay.
And it's funny because I've probably told you this before over our voice notes back and forth. Everyone at work will get me to look theirs up.
Tell me what's wrong with me.
They're like, what is going on? And I'm like, oh, well, there's a full moon in a couple of days, so that's probably why we're all tired. And there's a new moon in like maybe this couple of days. And they're like, how do you know this? I'm like, it's just research.
And when you're interested in something like that, like...
because I'm trying to make sense of what the fuck is going on in the world,
yeah.
And the chaos that's going on in the world. So I'm like, okay. And then if somebody has different traits, I'm trying to like delve into, okay, so you must have your sun in such and such or your moon in such and such.
Yeah.
Because that makes you this type of person or that type of person. Yeah. So it's fun. It's really fun.
And it's, because it's like how people take personality tests, and we'll get into all of that like next episode. But like the personality test, like at the end of the day, everybody is a little bit narcissistic and you always want to know about yourself.
Yeah.
It's like the whole thing of like dream interpretation. Nobody gives a fuck about your dream, but you're going to want to look up and see what all like the symbols are supposed to symbolize and
what's happening,
what it's trying to tell you and all of that. But like, I think that's where it comes from. And then, like you said, trying to make sense of the world.
Yeah,
like that is because we're living in a fucking horrible
it's so
time.
Chaotic.
Yeah, and everybody, especially like post-COVID, has like had to rethink their coping mechanisms. I think.
Yeah.
So that's also like a huge part of it. But anyway, not to digress too much, let's talk about the big 3.
The big 3. So you have your sun, moon, and rising or ascendant. Your sun is your core self. So your sun sign, as most people know, is based on your birthday. It's based on the position of the sun at the time of your birth and represents your core personality, your ego, and your life's purpose. So just FYI, ego is not your friend in any of this.
Okay.
Think of it as the main character energy in your chart, your sun.
Right.
So Capricorn is like your main energy. So think of it as your essence, your general traits, motivations, and kind of what you're here to shine as.
Right. So that's a good way to remembering your sun is how you're here to shine.
Yeah, and your sun is your identity. So in many ways, your sun is kind of your conscious self and how you define your identity. Your moon, on the other hand, is the emotional body. It reflects emotions, instincts, and your inner world. So your moon sign is very tied to your subconscious pattern, your emotional needs, and also how you process feelings. So where the sun is your outer light, the moon is actually your inner world. So it's how you feel, and like when you're by yourself, alone, when you feel safe, when you feel seen. It's also deeply tied to early childhood emotional memory and your relationship with care and comfort.
So like literally your inner child.
Yeah.
Is like, that's how your moon, wow.
Absolutely. So it kind of shows up with this in private close relationships, because it represents who you are when you have the mask off.
Yeah. Okay.
From everyone.
Mm-hmm.
The third one is your rising sign or your ascendant. So this is your mask or your aura. And it is... Sorry, I'm going to repeat this bit. So your rising sign, also called your ascendant, is the zodiac sign that was rising on the eastern horizon at the exact moment of your birth.
Interesting.
So it changes every 2 hours. So with this, you need your exact birth time. It's crucial to try to figure it out.
I always wondered why the exact time.
Yeah, it's to get your rising mostly, because it changes. Okay. So this is how you show up in the world, the energy that you naturally project, and how people tend to perceive you.
Okay.
Rather than how you perceive yourself. So it influences your physical appearance, your mannerisms, and how your instinctive reactions to new situations. So you could say it's your cosmic front door, or your first impression of how you navigate life on a day-to-day level. So just to break it down, your sun is your identity, your moon sign is your emotional self, and your rising is your outer presence. So I feel like for me, delving into astrology is how I make sense of my mentality sometimes, because let's be fair, it's quite flawed sometimes.
Yeah.
You know, and you're trying to like gather your thoughts, or what the fuck happened in your past life, or what's happening in your present. So for me, I delved into a lot of this to be like making, I guess, an excuse for my behavior.
Okay, yeah.
If that makes sense.
Yeah, which is also another aspect of it that I think puts a lot of people off, and would have put me off, because I do understand that is... Like, as I've gotten older, it like bothers me less, but it used to really annoy me when people were like, oh, I am thoughtless because I'm this star sign.
Yeah, no, that's just taking it to the next level. That's just...
I have a short temper because I'm a Scorpio or some shit, like, you know.
But with that, you need to self-evolve.
Yes.
And you use astrology to help you self-evolve. If you're a fucking asshole, you need to be self-aware and think, no, just because, okay, for me, I'm speaking about myself, just because I'm a Scorpio does not excuse the fact that I have been short-tempered here, or jealous about this, or vengeful about that, you know, because, sorry, they're all the negative traits that we get. And, like, there's many different aspects to a Scorpio. You can be the Scorpion and then rising like a phoenix from the ashes.
Okay.
It's all about death and rebirth.
Right.
For us, anyway.
Yeah. Oh, that's very you.
Yeah. So we tend to go...
Look at me fully into this now. I'm like, that's so you, because you seem to like reinvent your aesthetic.
Disappear.
Like, yourself.
And then come back out of it.
Yeah.
Yeah. So that's definitely some of the traits that I'm going to be talking about when I'm talking about your birth chart a little bit, and on my own. Yes. Is that when we talk about it, I know that you're going to be like, that's so you, or that's so me. I really am. And you haven't seen, because let's be fair, we have loads of notes, but Niamh hasn't actually seen these notes, so I'm excited to get her reactions from you being a non-believer.
Yes. So if you want to hear Megan read me to filth by reading out our birth charts and hear why we make a good friendship combination, check out our bonus episode, because we did ramble a little bit and we're aware that it's mostly just interesting to us. The bonus episode will be out after this one within the next week. So because we always try and do a little bit of dark history along with our folklore, it's not exactly dark history in this episode, but I thought I would bring us right back to the origins of astrology, because I think it's really, really interesting that it has not always been a women's realm. It has not always been associated with women who are quote unquote directionless, that just want to assign meaning to meaningless things. Queer people who want to turn away from religion and they just want to find some sort of faith that's outside of the faith that maybe has not been kind to them. I didn't actually realize that astrology goes all the way back to the oldest human civilization, the Mesopotamians. There are the earliest hints of star knowledge from up to 30,000 BC. Stars show up in cave art and carved mammoth ivory, possibly the first depictions of constellations. Across the world, ancient structures were aligned with the sun, marking solstices and equinoxes long before written history. Which just makes sense, because if there was one thing that all these people had in common, they might have lived in 1,000, 1,000,000 different places. They all had a sky above them and the stars that came out every night. And it was something that probably, as soon as they noticed it and it started coming into their psyche and their thought processes, that of course they were going to start looking into it and noticing patterns and noticing that the same constellations were appearing every night.
Cool as fuck.
Yeah. In India, up to 1,000 BC, astrology developed as a ritual calendar, which resulted in people timing important ceremonies with cosmic rhythms. Over time, this expanded to natal astrology, or the birth charts, like Megan was taking me through earlier. And the idea that your birth chart reflects your karma and the planets echo the unfolding of your life, which is, it's mad that was like 1,000 years BC, so 3,000 years ago. That's literally like...
We see that as so modern now, but to like, think that started way back then.
Yeah, it's brand new to me, like... We have Egyptian star charts from about 1,500 years BC. One of the oldest known star maps appears in the tomb of Senmut, Queen Hatshepsut's vizier. It charts the night sky as it would have looked in May 1534 BC, evidence that ancient Egyptians were already reading the heavens with mathematical precision.
Yeah, but they had that shit locked down, the Egyptians.
And the pyramids are obviously... evidence of that, because the way they align with the stars.
Yeah.
Do you know what I heard the last day and it just blew my mind? You know, one of those like history facts that like the pyramids are so old that there were ancient Egyptian archaeologists excavating them.
Holy shit.
That's how long the ancient Egyptian period went on, that there were archaeologists who believed that the pyramids were ancient.
That's crazy. Insane. And that's why like lots of people believe that like they were built by aliens.
Yeah, which is so insulting, because it's like, oh, white people didn't build this, so clearly it had to have been aliens.
It had to have been aliens.
There's no way like people living on the continent of Africa who could have come up with this themselves. Like,
yeah, so their geographical locations line up with other like really, really historical monuments in the world.
That is so crazy. Astrology as we know it began in Mesopotamia, so that's about 1,800 to 600 BC, especially in ancient Chaldea, which is a region of southern Babylon. So Babylon is around like where Iraq, as we know it now, was. So the Babylonians observed the heavens, assigned meaning to celestial events, and passed down those meanings through clay tablets written in cuneiform, which is the oldest form of writing known. By 700 BCE, the zodiac had actually taken shape.
Crazy.
12 sections of the sky, each tied to a constellation. What? Isn't there something so lovely about the fact that like we are still
practicing?
Yeah. And finding interest in this today? Like, it's just so lovely.
It's just modernized.
Yeah. And it's like, it's
but
such
it's all of the same premise though.
Yeah.
It's all about tracking and constellations and sky and planetary alignments.
Searching for cosmic meaning and just wanting to...
All of that, wanting to belong in something, wanting to believe in something.
Yeah. And like, of all the things, like obviously there's like your religions all throughout history. You have your monotheism with your Christian, Judeo-Christian God and all of that. Like the thing that probably makes most sense for anybody to worship is the stars and the sun and the heavens.
Yeah, because they never go away. They're always there, and they're always constant and consistent.
And you see them.
And ever changing as well at the same time.
So some of those clay tablets, the Enuma Anu Enlil was a massive series of clay tablets which recorded over 7,000 celestial events. Each was linked to a prediction. A typical entry in the Enuma Anu Enlil might say something like, the plough is for starting the furrow, the fox is for breaking into houses. By looking into the sky and noting when the plough, or the modern name for the constellation, is the Triangulum, which I like the plough better. The plough constellation first appears in the heavens, farmers would know that then it was time to start planting their crops. Other stars of constellations like the fox might mean a time of disorder or criminality, because foxes are sly. The stars weren't just lights in the sky, they were messages from the gods, especially for kings. Copies of those tablets have been found from across the span of centuries. Scribes for the king copied them multiple times so that they could be called upon to understand the signs of the heaven. They had such faith in that knowledge, they were reproducing them in tablets.
Like, I wonder, because I know nothing about farming, I wonder, do modern day farmers still practice some form of relying on planetary alignment, stars, the sky?
Well, I would say it's...
because it's all about, like, seasons as well. It's very tied into timekeeping and seasonal work.
Yeah, and they talk about, like, the first frost and the last frost, and you shouldn't plant after the third Sunday after the whatever frost. You know, like, you hear about that, like, farmers' wisdom. And we will mention as well the Farmer's Almanac, which, like, relied a lot on astrology, and it was very much about, like, this is the best time, because they didn't have, like, our meteorologists or anything like that. It was a good time it was a good way of them to
detect when
and try and predict,
plant when we grow, when we harvest. I've only learned this recently from Clarkson's Farm.
It's so good. I hate Jeremy Clarkson, but I love that show.
Yeah, I love that show. It's so good. I've learned a little bit about farming.
Yeah, it's so stressful.
Oh my God, so stressful.
Yeah. I say this as somebody who grew up with a farm. Like, I didn't realize how stressful it was.
It is crazy stressful.
We didn't really have crops. I think crops are especially stressful.
Absolutely.
So, still in Mesopotamia, the stars influenced everything from farming to medicine. Under Cancer, you might be treated with crab blood. Under Gemini, a healer might anoint you with a rooster's wing. Now, I looked into that. I don't know what connection Geminis have to roosters.
No. I don't, because Gemini are often seen as, like, this kind of very adaptable character.
Yeah. But I don't know if...
twins. That's kind of their symbology, is the two sitting twins.
Yeah. I did look into this because I was like, I want to know why, like, it's a rooster's wing, but I could not find it. So if anybody listening knows, please let us know. I would like to know what the hell it is. It's really annoying when you see a fact like that and you're like, I want to know why.
Try to delve into it, or you're, trying to make sense of it.
Yeah. Zodiac symbols show up on ancient Mesopotamian seal stones, scorpions, bulls, even goat-fish hybrids. Hello, Capricorn. As Babylon fell and empires rose, the Median, Chaldean, and Persian empires. So Persian's probably the most recent that we would associate with that part of the world. This sacred sky knowledge spread across the ancient world. When Hellenistic Greece got hold of it by the 2nd century BC, astrology was recodified into something much closer to what we know today. So that's a good lead into astrology in the ancient Greco-Roman period. After 330 BC, that's when the Greek innovations come in. When Alexander the Great swept through Egypt and Mesopotamia, he didn't just conquer cities, he brought astrology back to Greece. The Greeks were the first to get truly personal with astrology, so they charted not just omens but individual birth charts. With their obsession with fate, it made sense. The heavens moved with such precision, why wouldn't they reflect a person's destiny? Aristotle and the astrologers were agreed that the heavens and celestial bodies were incorruptible and unchanging, that their motion was regular and eternal, circular and perfect, that they were a superior fifth essence, distinct from the inferior elemental world of our earth and its atmosphere, where generation and corruption and alteration prevailed. For example, the changing of the seasons and the cycle of birth and death, that was something that just happened on Earth, and like there was so much change and so much unknown on Earth, whereas the heavens were constant and there was something that you could always rely on.
And it's so funny because when I was talking about the Scorpio traits, about that death and rebirth thing, that all kind of ties in with that.
It's like the themes of like why people believe these things seem to like show up in the actual belief system as well.
Yeah, and it seems to be across the board. No matter what kind of timing it is, they're making sense of it in all similar ways.
Yeah, they can see the merit to it and then they add something else to it.
Like a little sprinkle of their own beliefs. Yeah.
So we had seen like birth charts and all that sort of show up in India, but then the Greeks were the ones that like
locked that ship down. Yeah.
After Alexander's empire splintered, Alexandria in Egypt actually became a hub of science and sorcery. So you had Greek rationalism, Babylonian astrology, and Egyptian mysticism, all colliding in its libraries and lecture halls. It was here that astrology evolved into a structured system of celestial cause and effect. So it was known as the science of the soul. So this is when we kind of start seeing like astrology starting to become more of a respected science. So it's actually been spoken about in universities and lecture halls and all that. And it even like this belief in the celestial and the belief in the moon was reflected in their religion as well. Because you found a moon goddess, didn't you? A Greek moon goddess.
Yeah. So this was in the archaic and classical era. Her name was Selene. It was around 800 BC. And the archaic and classical Greece was when Greek cities like Athens and Sparta flourished and mythology was formalized. So Selene is the Greek personification of the moon, a titaness older than the Olympians. The myth is that she drove a silver chariot across the sky, pulled by winged horses or bulls. She embodies the full moon, soft, luminous, and ever-watching. She also famously fell in love with a mortal shepherd, Endymion. Captivated by his beauty, she asked Zeus to grant him eternal sleep so that he'd remain unchanged forever. She visited him every night, watching over him in his endless dreams. In some versions, they had 50 daughters, possibly symbolizing the lunar cycle and its many phases. The astro-spiritual tie to this is that Selene reflects the full moon in astrology, heightened emotion, visibility, fertility, and the climax of a cycle. She represents illumination, where hidden truths come to light. As a titaness, she's pure celestial energy, unfiltered by Olympian politics.
Wow.
And the hot feminist take is that her love story can be seen as not a passive obsession, but as a metaphor for female autonomy within desire. She chooses a life of solitude, power, and constant ritual, i.e. her nightly visits. She's a divine figure with cosmic agency, not defined by marriage or submission. So her eternal romance with Endymion could be interpreted as the moon's relationship with the earth, close, watching, influencing, but never quite touching. And it's this beautiful parallel to feminine mystique, emotional distance, and constancy.
What's so funny about that is when you first said about the love story, I was like, why do I find that sweet and romantic? But if it was a man,
it would be red flag.
Yeah, I would be like, that's disgusting.
Yeah.
How dare he do that? Like, condemn her to eternal sleep. But I'm just like, oh, she just wants to watch over him.
I know.
There's something
really, really beautiful about it.
Tragically beautiful about it.
Yeah.
Yeah. And I love that he represents the earth and the moon.
Yeah. And she's the moon and she's constantly close, watching, but never quite touching the earth.
Yeah. And it is so, like, it never occurred to me before, like, I think I saw it just lately that, like, the moon is always portrayed as a woman.
Yep.
And the sun is always portrayed as a man.
As a man, yeah. Because the sun is your ego.
Yeah.
And men run solely on their egos, usually.
Yeah. Interesting. And then I wonder, has it anything to do with, like, women and their menstrual cycle and the phases of the moon and the cyclical nature of that?
Absolutely. It's all interlinked, and I'll definitely be speaking about that a little bit later, of why and how it kind of all ties in together.
Interesting.
Yes.
After Greece and after Alexandria, and we see a lot more of basically taking astrology and taking the celestial plane more seriously, Rome gets involved.
Rome.
Because the Romans stole everything from the Greeks, their entire belief system, all of their gods, their philosophers, all of that sort of stuff, they were like, we'll have astrology too. Mainly because they were a warring people. The Romans were pragmatists. If they thought something would help win a war or secure a legacy, they were on board. So they absorbed Greece and Egypt. They then absorbed astrology because they saw the potential use of being able to strategize using the stars, which does make sense. It's
absolutely.
Like, if you could know the outcome of a battle, like
why can't we?
Yeah.
And why can't we take it and use it as our own?
Like we have the Morrigan in Celtic folklore, where if she appeared on a battlefield, it was an omen of death for the other side. You went into that battle with the confidence of an army that you were convinced you were going to win. So obviously you're going to fight harder because you're like...
Yeah, it's the mentality.
Yes.
Yeah.
Yeah, that winning mentality. So of course the Romans want to get in on that stuff too.
With the Romans, we come with another moon goddess, but one that was within Roman mythology. So Republic to the Empire, we have Luna. So this was 500 BC. The Roman Republic to Empire transitioned from democratic to a vast empire, absorbing Greek mythology and institutionalizing gods like Luna in temples or on public calendars. So Luna is kind of like Selene's Roman counterpart, but gained much more of a formal worship. So she had temples, festivals like the Calends, the first day of the lunar month.
Oh, calendar.
Yeah, Calends. And was seen as part of a sacred trinity with Sol, the sun, and Terra, the earth. So the myth about Luna was that she was kind of less myth heavy than Selene. She was honoured as a divine timekeeper. In some Roman poetic texts, she also shared Selene's story of Endymion. Her cult practice focused on how the moon governs life. So exactly like we were talking about, the tides, women's cycles, planting seasons, and emotion. Luna is very much linked to cyclical rhythms. She's all about tracking change, emotional intelligence, and cosmic timing. So in astrology, she embodies your moon sign, your inner world, how you feel, nurture, and process, very much what we were talking about with our birth charts. And the hot feminist take of Luna is that her divine role was not just symbolic. Her phases dictated the calendar, religious observance, and domestic life. Her influence was woven into women's lived experiences. So though later Christianized, her worship shows how pre-patriarchal societies honoured female-aligned power as central to a divine order. The word lunatic comes from the belief that women were ruled by the moon, a misogynistic twist on what was once sacred. Luna shows us how the divine feminine was once respected, then pathologized.
When you see where it ends up, like to see how good it was with Luna, and like obviously not to say that there wasn't rampant misogyny in ancient Rome, but like when you see that like giving like the goddesses their due.
Yeah, they were so respected.
Yeah, and it was obviously, it was like everything else, it was turned into a weapon against women with like the coining of the term lunatic.
Yep.
I never made that connection that it was like...
Yeah, coming from Luna.
Yeah, and that it was just applied to women, first of all.
Yeah.
Oh my God.
And it's because it's going back to that whole thing that the moon is very much feminine.
Yeah.
Because we have two different energies and we have our feminine and masculine within ourselves.
Yeah.
And they always say that, you know, the moon kind of depicts female energy, but also like that, they always try to say that, oh, it's the women that are affected by the moon because of the cycles and because it was always predominantly females that were worshipped because they were attached to the moon or they had some kind of affiliation with the moon.
Although, to be fair, every girl I know just absolutely adores the moon, so we're always out there trying to take pictures on our phone cameras that will not do it justice.
And it's funny because we're doing this podcast on an approaching full moon. It's going to be on Saturday. It's now Thursday?
Yeah.
Yeah, we're on Thursday. And recently, like this is probably going off in a tangent. Recently in the last couple of months, if not 2 years, I very much found that the full moon tends to affect the male gender.
Oh, yeah?
Yeah, and I don't know if it's like the world trying to get them to reconnect with their feminine side.
I like that theory.
To try to rebalance and bring more order or restore the energy balance.
Bring them back to like their baseline.
Yeah, bring them back to basics. I don't know if it's trying to get them to connect with their feminine side, because we have two different energies, and it's feminine and masculine. And sometimes it's hard to balance them both, because when we're within work, we're within our ego, our masculine energy all the time.
Yeah.
So it's really hard to come out of that. And that's probably what we'll be talking about in part 2, is the modernization of like women retreating back to full moon circles and retreats and getting into spirituality to try to regain that back.
Oh, that's like, I love that. I can't wait to talk about it next episode, because it's like, it'll require self-reflection as well.
So much inward and so much shadow work. Self-reflection, yep.
Yeah. So still in Rome, we have astrology becoming interconnected with people in power. It surged in popularity during the fall of, as Megan referred to earlier, the Roman Republic. So this is something I had to clarify in my head, because I was like, I don't remember this. I learned this in history class when I was 10. So you had the Roman Republic, which then became the Roman Empire. So yeah, the Romans sort of backslided a little bit in democracy, because they had the Republic, which was a little bit more democratic than the Empire ended up being, where they were just like, we'll have you, and we'll have you, and we'll take you as slaves, and we'll take you. It
was all power, power, power.
Exactly. Even Julius Caesar, who was the last before the establishment of the empire, had his horoscope cast. Then it was Augustus, who was Rome's first emperor after the fall of the Republic, who really leaned into it. As a young man, he visited the astrologer Theogenes, who read his chart and literally jumped out of his seat in awe. Later, Augustus used his chart to prove his divine destiny. He even minted coins stamped with a Capricorn.
His zodiac sign.
His zodiac sign. But he wasn't naive. Once in power, he expelled all the astrologers from Rome, worried that they would predict his death as he got older.
Days.
Starting with Augustus, some emperors banned astrology outright or punished astrologers who made the wrong predictions. Which is just like...
Or just predictions that he did not like.
Yeah. This is reminding me of certain politicians that are in power right now.
Right now, yeah.
It's like, I have the power to get rid of you because you're saying things that I don't like and I don't agree with.
Yeah, be gone with you.
Yeah, so you're out of my press pool.
You're cast off.
Yeah.
Banned.
Still, it thrived underground in secret circles and private consultations.
I fucking love that.
Yeah, we all know that's the coolest way. That is
fucking love that. Way.
The most lasting contribution came from Claudius Ptolemy, who was a Greek-born astronomer, but he lived in Roman Egypt in Alexandria. Around the 2nd century AD, he wrote the Tetrabiblius, a 4-part guide that laid out how the planets influence human lives. It became the foundation of Western astrology, mixing astronomy with philosophy, maths, and metaphysics. Ptolemy saw no contradiction between science and astrology. They were both part of understanding the cosmos, which is pretty cool. Like, it's... I always try and remind myself when there is an older belief system or something like that. Obviously, these are incredibly intelligent people, and they're only able to interpret the information that they have available to him at the time, available to them at the time. So obviously, as like the Greeks and then the Romans further developed all of these things like philosophy and mathematics and all of that, like obviously they would have believed that they were all interconnected and that there was something divine and something
and that could bring about something more from it. Yeah.
And there was a huge pattern to all of it.
Yeah.
You know? So in Greco-Roman times, astrology became a science respected by philosophers, doctors, and emperors, which were overwhelmingly male roles. As astrology became codified and intellectualized, women were, of course, pushed further from formal recognition as practitioners. And this mirrors a broader pattern in history where once a form of knowledge becomes prestigious, it becomes male-dominated. But it wasn't just rising in Greek and Rome, because Megan has a little bit of Chinese mythology for us to show us what was going on in 206 BC and onwards.
In the Han Dynasty. So I wasn't actually 100% sure what the Han Dynasty was. So I looked up, and apparently it was a golden age of Chinese history marked by political stability, scientific advancement, and also the rise of folklore and a thing called Taoist mythology. So, Taoist mythology refers to myths and deities on supernatural stories associated with Taoism, which is a philosophy and religion that centers around living in harmony with the Tao, meaning the way or natural flow of the universe. So Tao was not a god, but a cosmic principle and the source of everything.
Interesting.
Now, I think that this might be my favourite moon goddess.
Oh, yeah?
And her name was Chang'e. Now, I'm probably not saying that right, but I think it's the E. It's spelt Chang with an E, but it's pronounced E.
Okay.
So it's Chang'e, I think. And that sounds horrible from me because I'm a Donegal woman, but I tried my best.
The only thing we ever ask on this podcast is that we try.
Yeah, we try to get the right pronunciation of things.
Because, not to throw any other podcast under the bus, but I have heard people from America do like Celtic mythology, and it's clear that they did not even look up. They just read them phonetically as English.
As they're spelt, yeah.
Yeah, and that's just not the way it works, unfortunately. And you just want to be like, no.
That ain't right.
Yeah.
So Chang'e was the most famous moon goddess in Chinese mythology. So her story is very much tied to the Mid-Autumn Festival and the mystical presence of the full moon. So the myth about Chang'e, and this is a really like messed up but cool story.
Those are the best kind.
She was married to this kind of famous archer called Hui, and Chang'e drank this elixir of immortality. So this was either to protect it from being stolen or simply out of a tragic misstep. With this elixir, she floated to the moon, where she now lives in solitude for some reason with a jade rabbit who pounds herbs for immortality. So people look up to her during the full moon as a symbol of beauty, loss, and longing. So Chang'e is very much tied to the yin aspects of the moon, this kind of softness, reflection, and hidden power. In traditional Chinese cosmology, the moon governs intuition, seasonal cycles, feminine energy, and ancestral reverence. The feminist hot take is that Chang'e doesn't die, and she isn't punished. She becomes immortal. Her self-imposed exile is a radical choice in many versions. In a male-dominated world, she becomes divine alone, with her story centered on autonomy, not marriage. So this is a really cool part because she's still celebrated in China during the Mid-Autumn Festival, where women have historically gathered around to honour her and share mooncakes. Because she symbolises the collective feminine, solitary, but never alone.
Oh, I love that.
Yeah, she's my favourite. And I never heard about her but until I started researching moon goddesses.
I'm going to look up when the Mid-Autumn Festival is, because I'm sure it won't be too far away.
Yeah. I presume it's like August, September, possibly.
It is held on the 15th day of the 8th month. So it's in a week's time.
Oh, cool.
Oh, no, wait. 8th month of the Chinese calendar.
Okay.
It's in October 6th, 2025.
Wonderful.
Beautiful.
We love something in October.
Yes.
Yeah, how sweet.
And I adore folklore logic, where it's just like, yeah, she floated up to the moon and now she lives there with a jade rabbit.
Yeah.
Yep.
And like just, fuck the marriage to this archer.
Yeah. And I love that everybody heard that was just like, yeah, that sounds right.
Yeah.
Yeah. She floated up and she didn't want to get married, and that was it.
Yeah, she was married, but she didn't care.
You bitch.
Yeah, you badass bitch. You're immortal. And now, you know, ladies share mooncakes in her honour.
Yeah.
How sweet is that?
Beautiful. Beautiful. I've never had a mooncake, but now I really want to try one because they sound delicious.
Yeah.
So unfortunately, we have to go back to the West. But it is one of my favorite periods of history, which is the Renaissance. So after the fall of Rome, Ptolemy's Tetrabiblos was mostly lost to medieval Europe because few scholars could read Greek, which is such a simple reason for it to be lost. But in the Islamic world, it was preserved, translated into Arabic, and actively studied. By the 12th century, it made its way back to Europe through translations into Latin, mostly in Muslim-ruled Spain, where Christian scholars often travelled to study ancient knowledge. One of these curious scholars was Gerbert of Aurillac, later known as Pope Sylvester II. He was brilliant, credited with inventing mechanical clocks and reviving mathematics. But his deep knowledge made people suspicious of him, and rumours swirled that he studied magic and astrology, and some even whispered that he'd made a pact with the devil. Well, I would feel bad for you if the church hadn't done the same thing to thousands of women. From early on, Christian leaders disapproved of astrology, especially since it was returning to Europe through Islamic sources, so they were just xenophobic. The Council of Toledo banned it in 400 CE, so that's AD. CE, AD are the same thing. And Pope Leo I dismissed it as empty lies. Still, there was an awkward contradiction. The three kings in the nativity story seemed to be following a star. So they were acting as astrologers themselves. And in some versions of the nativity, they're referred to as the magi, so they're mages. Oh. So the three kings. So they're actually supposed to be magicians.
Oh.
Yeah. So we could probably infer from that they were astrologers, because that would be one of the magical
aspects,
disciplines, yeah from that time.
That's crazy.
Way more interesting if they're magicians. I would have wanted to play a magician in the school play. One of three kings or an angel.
Oh my god, yeah, the angel.
Yes. Now we go into the Tudors, and Megan, try not to faint because I remember your obsession with Jonathan Rhys-Meyers.
Oh my days. Oh my days.
As Henry VIII, which he looked nothing
unlocked.
like. Did you forget about that?
Yeah.
I remember your obsession with the Tudors.
Holy shit, I loved that show.
Yeah, I never watched it. I feel like I should watch it.
Absolutely.
It's just
brilliant.
Loads of riding, loads of sex.
It was basically like a Game of Thrones-esque show before Game of Thrones came out.
Right, with no magic, obviously.
Yeah, it was really, no dragons or magic. It was very political of that time, and the adultery and
Jonathan Rhys-Meyers.
Before he went off the fucking rails.
Yeah. He lived in the same town that I lived in Dublin, in Terranure. And people used to spot him out and about, and people were like, he does not look well.
No.
God bless him.
God bless him. He became quite addicted to alcohol and drugs.
Think so, yeah.
Yeah.
Sad, he was everywhere at one point.
Yeah.
Because him and Cillian Murphy sort of came up together.
Yeah, they did. God, remember that really Bend It Like Beckham.
Oh my god, I forgot he was in that.
Remember that movie?
Bend It Like Beckham.
He was fucking brutal in that.
Yeah.
He was awful though.
Yeah. He was just so pretty.
Yeah, he was gorgeous.
Yeah.
Oh my days. I'm actually floored at the memory of how much I was in love with him.
You're going to go find the Tudors and watch it again from the start, aren't you?
Absolutely. Absolutely.
The church tried to suppress astrology, but people kept looking it up. Even priests and monks quietly studied it, if only to calculate Easter's timing from the moon. That's why Easter's different fucking times every year. And ordinary folks turned to local astrologers. In 15th century London, a man named Richard Trewithian recorded the horoscopes he cast for neighbours, asking about health, love, and even missing spouses. One man just wanted to know where his wife had gone. Why is that your instinct to go ask an astrologer?
Where's the wife gone?
Where is she? I can't find her anywhere.
An asshole.
Yeah, I feel like she would not want to be found. Astrology remained deeply entwined with politics and power throughout the Tudor period. Both Henry VII and his enemies were known to consult the Italian astrologer William Parran. His son, Henry VIII, Jonathan Rhys-Meyers, took a similar interest. He patronised the German astrologer Nicholas Kratzer and even blocked his bishops from condemning astrology. Cardinal Wolsey was the former Lord High Chancellor of Great Britain. His obsession with the stars was the subject of gossip at court. Some claimed he had calculated the king's horoscope to better flatter his whims, that's a pretty creative way. It's like, don't even look up your own birth chart, just look up somebody else and figure out like what they do. I'm not giving any of you creepy men ideas, right? Don't be looking up a girl's birth chart so you can get into her knickers.
Oh, that is a whole thing. That is a whole thing.
Is that a thing people do? Shut up.
Yeah, so there's often like hilarious memes about these like woke men that how do I even...
So like performative sort of feminism, like these guys that are always caught reading like Sally Rooney novels on the plane, like, oh, I am into feminine things.
Yeah, it's like they use it as, they say they're a feminist, they use birth charts and everything to try to like engage with females, but they also use it, like we talked about, as an excuse for their really shitty misogynistic behaviour. Because they're like, oh no, well I'm just this. Right. Usually Pisces man, FYI.
Oh, it's like men who use therapy speak to weaponize it.
Yeah.
Like,
that's the word, to weaponize it. Yeah. And there's like these funny memes on the internet going on about it. So men actually do that.
Sick.
Yeah. It's very much a thing.
Why do men have to fucking ruin everything?
Yeah. I mean, because you talking about all of this stuff is very male dominated, because naturally females have been completely cast out of it at this stage already. Already.
And didn't get to write the history books.
This is the Tudor era that we're talking about.
And
they're already becoming dicks by using it to better flatter his whims.
Yes, to climb the social ladder.
Yeah.
And which shows you as well, because like women are consulting astrology for, why do I feel this way? And will I ever fall in love? And will I ever have children? Or will I travel? And all of that there. And men are like, how can I make this work for me?
Yeah. How do I win this woman over?
Yeah.
Or how do I fight battle?
Yeah. How do I win
in the most masculine
battle?
way?
Like, yeah. Fuck's sake. They never fail to like shock, do they? But I'm also not shocked, you know?
No, not shocked.
The young Edward VI also had his birth chart cast. The task was given to the astrologer known as the Protector Somerset, which is a really cool fucking name.
Yeah, that is class, to be fair.
Who travelled England specifically for the job. His tutor, John Cheek, was reportedly a, quote, well-known addict of astrology.
Okay, I'm glad that is followed with of astrology.
Yeah, there could be worse things to be addicted to. Even Sir Thomas Smith, who was a future Secretary of State, was said to be so consumed by the subject that he could scarcely sleep at night from thinking of it. So these lads are getting really, really into their astrology.
Yeah.
To be fair, like if they believed so strongly in it that they thought it had all the answers, of course they're going to be like that obsessed.
I mean, I think that what happened with these men in these historical placements were that they kind of banded it with mathematics, astronomy, and everything that was very much logically minded. So I think that's how they tied it all in together.
Yes.
To make sense of it from a much more logical, whereas the feminine is coming from a much more spiritual aspect.
Yes.
If that makes sense.
Connection and tradition.
Whereas they're looking at it very, very logically.
Yeah, analytical. Yeah. Just how can I use this to calculate things?
Yes.
Yeah.
Absolutely.
So back then, disease was, of course, terrifying and mysterious. Astrologers help people make sense of it. The word influenza actually comes from the idea of being under the influence of the stars.
I didn't know that.
I did not know that either.
That's cool.
Isn't that cool as fuck?
Yeah.
Medical astrology guided treatments, pregnancy predictions, which shout out to our Pinecones episode on pregnancy superstitions, and even quarrels between spouses. Which I feel like couples are still doing today. I don't want to talk to you. Mercury's in retrograde. Which, by the way, we didn't get into what Mercury retrograde is. Do you want to give a quick TLDR of what that is?
Oh my god, is it going to be quick though?
Because that was one of my questions. I was like, Megan, what is Mercury retrograde?
There's a little bit about it. We've got some, astrologically speaking, we've got a messy side, and we've got how we can actually try to survive it, per se.
Yeah, because is Mercury in retrograde right now?
Yeah, so we're currently in retrograde.
And how long is that going to last?
So it usually happens like 3-4 times a year, and it lasts for about 3 weeks.
Okay, so it will maybe still be in retrograde by the time the episode comes out, which will be next Wednesday?
Possibly. Yeah.
Okay.
I'm actually unsure as to what pinpoint date it went into retrograde.
Right.
I just very know from the happenings of the universe and of my everyday life and work life that it is very much in retrograde. So Mercury retrograde is probably astrology's most common red flag. So astrologically speaking, what Mercury governs is how we communicate, how we process information, technology, contracts, schedules, logistics. So when Mercury goes retrograde, it's like all of these go into like mini crisis mode.
Okay.
So, like I said, it happens usually 3 or 4 times a year for about 3 weeks, and it's like a cosmic disruption of those areas.
Right.
So, there's very much a messy side, which can be tech fails, communication breakdowns, so kind of misunderstandings, or your tone is misread.
Okay.
Or for some reason, people from your past show up.
Oh.
So you might go on a digital detox and then spiral because you think everyone's ignoring you.
Yeah. So it's like the worst possible outcome.
Yeah.
Happens.
It's very much testing these things.
Okay.
So you've also got things like travel chaos. So if you go traveling, they say not to travel. I mean, it's impossible, but what might happen when you are traveling is that you might be driving down a road and Google Maps reroutes you to a road that's closed, under construction, and possibly cursed.
Okay. Wonderful.
Very much what I had today was mental fog as one of them.
Okay.
So you might forget words or names or why you walked into a fucking room. There's unexpected reunions. Now, for some reason, this is a very, very key aspect that people talk about online and in general about Mercury retrograde, is that old flames, old friends, and old habits will come up.
Okay.
So you might possibly reconnect with your ex and then remember exactly why you broke up 48 hours later.
Oh, right. Yeah.
So exes keep showing up. They keep showing up. And the reason for this is that it's not trying to be chaotic on purpose. It's like the universe's way to get you to revisit, revise, and reflect on these things.
Okay.
It's about inner healing and clarity. It's about slowing down and realigning. So, okay, your ex has come up, but do you really want to go through that shit again? You know?
Yeah. Yeah. It's like a reset, like a cosmic reset.
Yeah, it is a cosmic reset. And in astrology, Mercury symbolizes how we connect and transmit information. So when it retrogrades, we are invited to slow down.
Okay.
So review, reflect, reconsider.
Does it affect different...
It affects different because
ways.
Of your signs.
Different signs, different ways. Okay.
So depending on what planets are in retrograde, it can and in kind of your signs are affected. So I might be affected differently than you. So I might have, I don't know, mental fog, and you might have an unexpected reunion with somebody that's really fucked you off in the past.
Okay. Yeah. Yeah.
Or unfortunately, all of them at once.
Yeah.
You know, like this week I was like, oh, for fuck's sake. And I think sometimes, you know, when you're researching something and it comes to light, I was researching Mercury retrograde and writing down a few points. And that very week I had forgotten my laptop in Pavo's house. I couldn't remember people's names. I was trying to remember the third name of your cat. Couldn't remember Balor's name.
Oh.
Couldn't remember his name. I literally texted one of the girls at work because she was like, Megan, you're trying to say all of their cats' names to me and you can't remember the third one. So you said it in the car. And I was immediately texting Yulia like, it's Balor. So it's just mad shit like that happens, that it's chaotic, but what it is the universe is trying to test you, but with love.
Yeah. Okay.
So
it's like a guidance more than a...
Yeah.
Yeah.
It's like, it's as you said, it's a cosmic reset. What you need to do to try to survive this is like revisit old ideas. Don't start major projects. Don't sign any major contracts. Triple check plans. Don't do anything out of the ordinary.
Megan told me the part about the contracts before, and I was like, Megan, that's literally my job.
You're literally your job.
And I should just be like to my boss, well, do you know Mercury is in retrograde?
Therefore, I cannot do my job.
Yeah. I cannot look at any contracts this week.
So yeah, that's a kind of simplified, for sure, is that it's...
Thank you for that, because that is like, I feel like it's been memeified at this point. That
Yeah.
Mercury's in Gatorade. Like,
and I think like a lot of astrology memes and, you know, people that are into astrology kind of do it as a really humorous way to be like, oh shit, like life has really been fucked up right now.
mm-hmm.
And it's so chaotic, but
yeah,
it's actually just trying to get you to like laugh at it.
Yeah.
And revisit plans and slow down.
Yeah. My favorite like astrology meme is like the one saying, "Can any of the astrology girlies explain which planet is fucking with my life?" And the answer is Earth. Yeah.
Yeah.
Something that like comes up, I think it's like the side of the internet that our podcast is on, and Emily has even put it into her art, is the phrase "as above, so below," and it's always in like witchy things and like kind of gothic-y stuff. And I came across it in the book that I was researching or using to research like the history of astrology, which will be, of course, in the show notes linked. But I just had to include this because I wanted to know what it was about, and I think you guys should know too. So, medieval thinkers divided the universe into two zones. There was the sublunary world where we live, and everything above the moon where the planets and stars move. Since the moon affected the tides, it felt logical that other celestial bodies influenced earthly events. The belief was summed up by the famous alchemical phrase, "as above, so below." So that's where it comes from. It's a phrase in alchemy. So everything that it's above the moon is affecting everything down here.
It's below.
Yeah. Today we see astrology and astronomy as completely separate fields. One is scientific, the other is mystical. But that division is relatively modern. For centuries, astrology was considered the more prestigious discipline, which is very interesting, practiced by scholars and philosophers, while astronomy was seen as its more mechanical counterpart. Astronomy tracked the movements of the heavens. Astrology interpreted their meaning and their impact on earthly life. So it was like the higher thinking.
I love that, yeah.
Yeah, isn't it cool?
It's much more about the higher being.
Yeah. By the 16th century, astrology was absolutely booming. So Queen Elizabeth I relied on her astrologer, John Dee, which is probably the most famous astrologer that ever gets talked about in a historical term, who chose her coronation date. Pope Julius II laid the first stone of St. Peter's Basilica at an astrologically chosen moment. Astrology and astronomy were both seen as noble sciences, and they were actually taught side by side at universities. Can you imagine studying astrology at university?
My days.
You'd go there right away.
Oh, like run. Would just go, would leg it.
Before the 17th century, few people questioned the legitimacy of astrology. The idea that the stars and planets influenced earthly events like the weather or the harvest was just widely accepted, so it seemed logical that celestial forces might also shape human lives. This perceived connection to a natural, observable phenomena gave astrology a scientific credibility that initially set it apart from accusations of witchcraft or heresy. In fact, when astrological fortune-telling was outlawed in the 18th century, it was not because authorities feared sorcery or devil worship. It was because untrained charlatans were seen as misleading the public. So they didn't want somebody scamming people. They were like, it's yeah, this is 100% real, but we don't want the fake ones taking people's money. Which is
untrained charlatan.
Yeah. You're an untrained charlatan.
That is such an awesome word.
Yep.
Charlatan.
Yeah. Remember there was a band called the Charlatans in like the 90s? Such a great name. Then came the Copernican Revolution. In 1543, Copernicus proposed a sun-centered solar system, forever altering astronomy and shaking astrology. But belief in the stars didn't vanish, and of course, it made its way into the witch trials. In the 1560s, a man named Hugh Draper was imprisoned in the Tower of London for sorcery. On the wall of his cell, he carved a detailed horoscope, beautifully inscribed in stone. It is still there today.
Cool.
And that is actually where we're going to leave it from a historical rundown. The rest is going to bring us up into the modern age when we want to talk about all that misogynistic bullshit. And we're leaving that for part 2. But Megan is going to close us out with a little the moon as the feminine archetype.
Yeah, so everything that we talked about in terms of the moon, its universal pattern is, like we talked about before, was gendered female in most of these kind of global mythologies. Why? Because her cycle mirrors the menstrual cycle.
Called it.
Her phases symbolize birth, growth, decline, and renewal, just like the human body and psyche. So in astrology, the moon governs, like we talked about again, emotions, intuition, the subconscious and dreams, the mother or maternal lineage, how we nurture and seek comfort. So again, I keep calling it the feminist hot take.
Mm-hmm.
The shift from moon goddesses to moon madness, e.g. hysteria and lunacy, is very much a historical erasure of the sacred feminine. So the moon became feared as irrational or wild, just like the women were in patriarchal systems. But modern astrology reclaims the moon as a site of power, especially in feminine spirituality.
Yes.
Astrology gives us this framework to reclaim lunar wisdom, tracking our own emotional tides, honouring our cycles, and refusing to see emotional depth as a weakness. The moon is not chaos, she's cosmic order. So patriarchy taught us to fear feeling, but the moon teaches us that going inward, breaking down, and changing is not a weakness. It's in fact a natural order of things. So emotions are not a flaw, but a map. That healing is not linear. That darkness is not absence, but space. So the moon is kind of like our mirror. The moon reflects our own phases. We wax, which is growing, striving, and shining. We wane, which is retreating, resting, and resetting. And we also disappear, only to re-emerge. She tells us that there is no failure in rest, no shame in change, no fear in the shadows. When we track the moon, we track ourselves. We learn to honour the hidden and the in-between, the becoming. That's radical, and that's fucking feminist.
Yes. I'm clicking and giving you snaps.
Snip, snip.
I can only snap with one hand. I love that. And that is such a great lead in to the next episode where we're talking about more as like a feminist reclamation.
Yes.
Which I'm very excited about. As much as I loved all the historical parts of it, and that was like, we're not completely done with the history. I just think like when we talk about it in the modern age, it's just going to be so cool and so fun to delve into. However, Megan and I have been recording for 2 hours and 15 minutes.
Holy shit.
And that's not including a break that we took.
Holy.
So, with all that being said, I need to get editing this at some point. And also, we need to figure out when we can record part 2. So, for this episode of Rowan and Pine, I am Niamh.
I'm Megan.
Thanks for listening, and fuck yeah, folklore. Goodbye.
Bye.
Like my husband is coming downstairs.
Dun, 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 dun.